It's like you always felt behind. The game was moving faster than you could keep up with in your mind. The other extreme being like, the game's moving so slowly, you can see what's happening, you can tell what's going to happen next, you're kind of bored waiting for the game to play itself out. Those are the two extremes when we're talking about evaluating how you perceive the game mentally. The ideal side of spectrum to be on for that is the game's moving slowly, meaning the more the game moves slowly, the more bored you're apt to get waiting for the game to play out. That just means you have such a extreme understanding of the game that it might actually start to become boring for you to wait for the game to play out the way you already know it's going to play out. That's the ideal version of mentally evaluating yourself out here on the court where you want to be. Stepping back to talking about physically real quick, when I evaluated myself out here from a physical standpoint, there was two conditions. It was one, from a physical standpoint, I was pretty much where I expected myself to be. My standards are really low, being super retired for such a long time. Playing against people who are more than half my age, my standards are really low. But I did think that I played as well as I could realistically, physically expect myself to play. When it came to mentally evaluating myself, the two conditions I'm talking about are when I was waiting, like if I'm on defense and I'm waiting for the other team to make their move. So the other team is setting up their offense, trying to decide what they're going to do offensively while I'm waiting for them defensively. As they're setting up, I am watching them, I'm waiting them, I can see what they're doing, and because of my understanding of the game, I can see what they're trying to set up to do. I don't know them, I don't know their playing style or their strategic style as players, but if I do have any kind of talent as a basketball player, it's on the mental end. I always say I would be a much better coach than I ever would be a player. So as they're setting up, I'm just sort of standing in my defensive stance, sort of waiting for them to execute what I already know they're going to execute. But that's not to say anything against them. It's just I am just mentally talented when it comes to understanding the game. That's the first condition. So I'm sort of getting bored from a mental standpoint, waiting for them. The second condition is once they actually started executing and applying the strategy they were trying to execute, then mentally, that's when it seemed to speed up. So it's like slowly waiting for them to execute, and then they're executing. That's because, from a mental standpoint, everything's moving in slow motion for me. But from a physical standpoint, once they start actually executing, and because I'm so under-conditioned and they're half my age, once they started imposing themselves physically, that's when the game sped up for me mentally. Because physically, I couldn't keep up, and because of that, mentally, the game accelerated in those quick moments. So the game mentally moved slowly for me until action actually picked up, and then it was like, okay, I know what they were trying to do. I can see and understand what they're actually doing right now in the present as the play is starting. But because physically I can't keep up, mentally the game is starting to fly by.